Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and this time we're going to start academic writing task 1. We'll talk about gender training writing task 1 as well, but first we'll talk about academic writing task 1. Academic writing task 1 is called report writing. Now those of you who are for academic, even you can go through it as well. I mean, you don't know when you change your plan. Instead of immigration, you want to apply for education. So this is the only thing which is different. Reading is almost same, question type is same, passages are different. And the writing task 1 is changed, otherwise task 2 is same. So, and when I'll be teaching you gender training, even you can go through gender training as well and all that, right? So academic writing task 1 is report writing. You have to write a report of 150 words. Total word count is 150 words, and basically this report is based on some sort of statistical information. There can be some numbers, there can be some charts, bar chart, pie chart, flow chart, process diagram. There can be a diagram as well. You got to describe what is happening in the diagram. So these type of things are going to be the part of academic writing task 1. It can be easier if you have a good understanding of statistical information and if you understand the graphic information. Graphic information means the line graph, the bar chart, the pie chart and all that. If you understand that, then you got to develop a report. Now remember, report does not mean you got to describe all the data. If the purpose is to describe all the data, then there is no need to write the report. That's not the report. Now for example, if I give you some data and then I say, please tell me what is the indication, or what does this data depict, or what does this data show. So when you're going to write that thing, that is going to be a report. So report does not mean the description. Sometimes what happens, you see the writing task, there is a bar chart and you describe all the bar chart. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Report does not mean that. Report means first you will talk about the most important thing. Then you will talk about second most important, third most important, least important, comparison, contrast. That will be a report. So the word report means you got to tell the examiner that this is the data and this is the outcome or finding of this data. Means according to this data, this is increasing. According to this data, this is decreasing. This is the highest increase. This is the lowest decrease. And these things are comparable to each other, or these things can be compared. Clear? So again, make up your mind. A report does not mean the full description of the data. I can give you a very small example. If I send you to Lahore Zoo for reporting, I send you to Lahore Zoo for reporting. Lahore got a beautiful zoo. So if I send you there for reporting, now you would not say at 8 o'clock I entered the zoo. Before that I bought the ticket. After that I showed my ticket and I entered the zoo. As I entered the zoo, I saw the cages of monkeys. They were looking at me and smiling. I smiled back. Not like that. That's not a report. That's not a report at all. The report is, you will say, in Lahore Zoo, elephant is sick. Oh my God. This is the report. I mean, just like the media people, they know how they are going to highlight one thing. So you need to highlight certain important things from the graphic information, from the diagram, or whatever it is going to be. Diagrams will be explained from A to Z. If there is a diagram, you will explain it from A to Z, but if it's going to be other thing like bar chart, pie charts, you'll see what is most important, second most important and all that. Now please follow your handouts and you can follow your screen. What do I have to do in task? You have to describe in 150 words the information provided in a graph, chart, table or diagram. It can be graph, chart, table, or a diagram. There may be more than one of these in the task. There can be one chart, one table and all that. Next, what if I have difficulty reading graphs and charts? You will need to practice this skill to be able to do this task. Graphs and charts communicate information visually. Knowing how they work will help you to summarize the data. What sort of graphs or diagrams could I get? Now I'm going to give you a clear understanding. If you are not already familiar with the graphs, now I'm gonna tell you about that. You could get any of the following or a variation on these formats. First, we've got the pie chart. Okay, pie chart is like a pizza. There are the slices on it. Some slices are big, some slices are small, and each slice represent certain amount or percentage of something. For example, if there is a pie chart about different age groups or the percentage of people who use internet, right? Then they say teenagers, they are 40% who use the internet, children, they are 10%. So they will be the slices of the pie chart. This pie chart has got USA, United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Japan, others. So they have not mentioned the values. It's only for your understanding. And the first thing is this: whenever you look at any graphic information, you should be understand, okay, this is a pie chart. All right, this is a line graph. Okay, this is a diagram. This is this. So you should be able to understand that. Next is line graph. We've got a line graph. There is just like a line, right? It goes on. Have you seen ECG? ECG of heart, right? So ECG is like a line, it goes up, comes down, goes up. That's a line graph. So line graph goes like a line, and on both axes there are certain things. Now in this line graph, down there we have the months and then the values 0 to 80. Now we don't know, it can be sales, it can be anything, it can be percentage or whatever. Next we've got the bar chart. Now there can be a simple bar chart or like this: north, east, west. There are 3 bars. One is north, one is east, one is west. In the same way, there can be another bar chart, like one bar can be car, one bar can be bus, one bar can be motorbike, right? So then, and on this side we'll be having the numbers or the values or percentage from 0 to 100, 0 to 40 or whatever. Here we've got 0 to 100. Clear?
Yes.
Pie chart, line graph and bar chart. Next is a table. Now we also call it a statistical table. In the table usually we've got the values around the year. For example, in 1 year, these are the, for example, here we've got 1, 2, 3 years are mentioned. It can be 1990, 2000, 2010. Name and description. And there can be some other tables as well. I'll show you that, where there are the activities, pastime activities or free time activities, and then there are certain age groups. So it's going to be another one. Next we've got diagram. It's diagram of how something works. So there are 2 diagrams. One is a diagram how something works, and second diagram is diagram of a process. We call it a process diagram. The first one is the diagram of how something works. You can see there is combustion chamber. What do you think it is? It's a rocket. It's a rocket. So in the rocket there is the combustion chamber, but this is a very simple diagram. They will give you so many things in the diagram, right? And then we got diagram of process. So what process do you think it is? Yeah, they are trying to filtration. Maybe they are filtering something. Yeah, that's why there's filter paper and funnel and all that. Now let's go ahead. Okay, look at the chart, the graph and the table on the previous page, and then complete the summary below using words from the box. Now those of you who are using the handout, you will use 2 pages, one like this, like that. Okay, you got to go back and here and all that. Now please take a look at the pie chart. I'll show you the pie chart there. Take a look at the pie chart. You can put this paper like this. Done? Pie charts are used to show part of a whole and to represent these at a set point in time. They do not show variation in the data over time. Now pie chart will not show any variation. Pie chart will only tell you the percentage of that. However, each of the parts may be shown as a percentage. In number 1, please write percentage. In blank number 1, there will be percentage. So whenever there's going to be a pie chart, it will show the percentage of something. Next, line graph. Line graph can be used to show how something changes over time. The word changes will come. Line graph can be used to show how something changes over time. So line graph will tell us about the change. Now this is again important for you that you understand. Pie chart will tell us the percentage. Line graph will tell us how something changes over time. They have an x-axis horizontal, x or horizontal, and y-axis that is vertical. Usually the x-axis has numbers for the time period. Time will come there. Have the numbers for the time period, and the y-axis has numbers for what is being measured. right? Line graph can be used when you are plotting data. The word data will come in blank number 5. Line graph is used, it can be used when you are plotting data that have peaks up, and in other words they can show trends. Next we've got the bar graphs, or we also call it bar chart. Bar graphs are similar to line graphs. Bar graphs are similar to line graphs in that they have two axes actually. AXES, axis. In the blank you will write axis. They have two axes and are useful when you want to show how something has changed over the years or days or weeks. So over the years, especially where there are really big changes, they are also very useful if you want to compare things by showing their differences or similarities. We can use them for comparing. So if you want to compare things by showing their differences or similarities. And the last one is tables. Tables contain words, numbers, or signs, or a combination of these. Words, numbers, or combination of these displayed in columns. The word you'll write here is column. There'll be the columns or boxes to illustrate a set of facts and the relationship between them. Tables will illustrate the set of facts and the relationship between them. So this is the basic information about line graph, bar chart, diagram, table, and all that. So the first thing is you need to identify, and you should see which thing is going to show what. Now when you talk about pie chart, you know pie chart will represent the percentage of certain things. When you talk about line graph, you know there are the both axes, x-axis, y-axis, and they are the values. If there is a table, again table has the data, there are the years, there are certain activities, and there can be some words and numbers as well. For example, if there is a table about how much free time people spend on different activities, there can be the list of activities: watching TV, exercise, this thing, that thing, and then the number of hours they spend out of 24, and the years like that, or the age group. There can be the age group. So it's going to be like that. So far so good? Okay, so that's all. I just end this part of the video here, and we'll get back with the second part.